Once on a parts of Pro Skater 2X, this time we're going through the subway and the skylines levels, which I'm going to be doing sort of back and forth between the story mode, career mode sort of thing, and free skate. There's a reason for it, especially for subway here, which is our first level to go for. And there's no, there's no career mode shit here, no goals. Subway and skylines are both levels that are entirely optional. And basically, you just, if anything, just do like a fucking free skate thing here. Or like a score thing, like a score run. But yeah, for the most part, when it comes to these levels, they are also some of the worst in the game. You can only unlock this one by, beating fucking the main career of Pro Skater 2X's unique levels. I think so, if I remember reading it correctly. But with Skylines, you can only get it when you complete the Pro Skater 1 career. And yeah, by that point, you've pretty much beaten the game. And both of these levels that are basically bonus levels, they are in the same realm as like Crane Drop or Chopper Drop and Skate Heaven. But the problem is, like, both of these levels are on, like, not the same level, but in a similar sort of ballpark as Chopper Drop. Neither of these levels are in an area where they are as good as Skate Heaven is. But I will say that Skylines definitely wanted to be a Skate Heaven. It definitely had aspirations to be so, in particular to a certain aspect of its fucking level. But right now, for the most part, we do have, the fucking subway, which has a few things, has like about over 40 gaps. There are also hobos around here. You might notice there are a few hobos who we can jump over and what have you. They don't give us anything, no sound effects, nothing. But they are important. They are very important when it comes to this level, because this level has a secret area that we can unlock by utilizing the hobos. But for now, it's time for those gaps. We got the bench hop, we jump over that shit. We have jumping over this entire spot here for shortcut and skyhook, where they have 3 O's there in the guide instead of 2. We have doing this entire grind over on this wall here, and there's a subway train over there that's blocking a path. That is where the secret area is, and I'll show you how you're supposed to unlock it soon. But yeah, we also got this grind over here, which is like a rat wire, I guess. I don't know why it's called a rat wire, but it is. And for the most part, you can also jump inside of these in order to get a gap, as well as manual across these, so spare some change. And the other one, there are only 2 manual gaps, and we get them both from the trains. There you go, rhymes in the trains. So there are also quite a number of wall ride gaps, and for the most part, a lot of them are very obvious. Like these 4 here, they're right at the start. They're very fucking obvious. Like, they are unique pictures. So if you were to wall ride them, you would figure out immediately that, yeah, all 4 of them are gaps. And then we have this area, like this back area of the subway, which looks the same as the other area where we saw that one hobo behind the turnstile. But now we have a hobo over here on the, the wall. And we have this entire path here, which we can grind if we do it correctly in order to get a gap. And by correctly, I mean you need to start from the very beginning and then grind to the very end. Either side will do the trick. You are better off going for the one on the left there, because there's no need to jump at that point. But for the most part, you grind across and you get quick way. And now it's time to basically wall ride these spots for Big Dumb Jock and Yilo. And then you have, just the bullshit ones, which are on the train. Nace and Save, which are very small and are basically bullshit. And they don't like the trigger very much, so keep that in mind. It's not a fun bunch of wall riding. But yeah, about 8 wall ride gaps. A nice number to have for wall rides there. Anyway, then we have these grinds where you have to grind from one end of these, rails here all the way to the other when it comes to train tracks. We have first rail, second rail, and third rail. Now, you might be thinking, well, is there a 4th rail, considering the lineup here? Maybe a 5th and 6th? Nope. because this is third rail, and this is also third rail that I'm grinding right now. In fact, the rails over to my left are also second and first. So, for the most part, you just pick whichever side you want, and then just grind all the way through all three of them. And that's about it, really. Nothing else to it. Anyway, there's also these really awkward grinds here. Like this one, we have to go up to a ramp, then grind this entire spot here for up and lights. And then you have to jump from the very beginning ramp over here in these turnstiles all the way across to this rail and try to grind this bitch all the way through to get lights out. Really awkward shit, honestly. Really awkward shit. And I also apologize for my screenshots where it's getting a bit blurry. I try my best with the scans. I am sorry. But anyway, now you have to jump over these hobos, and you have to jump over them very specifically. Like the first one, you have to jump over the very sideways of the ramp, the kicker I mean, to actually get both of them. And you have to make sure to double check that you gain these free afterwards, because sometimes the game might not register it. So just double check, jump over them twice, just in case. And no sound effects, no animation, no nothing. It's gone now. It's just gone. Now we can enter into the secret area, which is a sewer area, and it has a fucking, like, shark or some shit here, like a walrus, whatever. But yeah, not a croc, sorry, a gator, which is where we got gator gap there. And for the most part, this area has a few gaps as well, like S-pipe and all have you. However, you might notice that, you know, I got about 2 minutes on the timer, and yeah, not a whole lot of time to work with once you take care of all the hobos, because you only get about, like, what, 50 seconds right around in here at that point? And there are a good number of gaps here to get. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the big problem here? I mean, yeah, like, we don't get that much time after we take care of unlocking the area, but I'm sure that the game won't fuck us out of the area, right? No, it does. It does. We have to do it again if we do another run. So because of that, I'm going to free skate in order to do this one. Beforehand, career mode was just being a single session, so for the most part, career mode's not really needed. I'll go back there anyway, just in case, because why not? But, yeah, for the most part, we're just going to use free skate and get rid of the timer as we go along and get the rest of these gaps, because it's not really needed, the timer, and for the most part, the rest of these gaps, you don't want to fuck around and, you know, go back and forth with the hobos a whole bunch just to get the rest of these. So I'll get the above the S and below the S, or in the S in this case. Not really a below one, really. You can't go inside where the croc is anyway. And, yeah, there's a few pipes around here. You grind them, you can get some stuff. Like, for instance, the long pipe, the high pipe, the hard pipe, and the high hard pipe. Yeah, oh, the high hard one. Yeah, a lot of names, a lot of different things going on. But for the most part, they're all a bunch of grinds around here. In fact, the second page is really dedicated to this area. And also you can go inside that big pipe. I don't know why. We have the poop chute going on. You can get right into the poop. And you can also just grind around the poop if you want to by grinding this pipe instead. And you'll be able to get the toxic gap out of it. And lastly, leave the fucking sewers array with that kicker, and you will get the last one, the Audi. And that's it. Pretty basic, honestly. You know, not that big of a deal. I find it nice they did put like a little extra area there you can unlock. And they do actually move the train over to the other side, in case you're wondering. But now it's time for the Skyline. We got this as our final unlockable, basically. And Skyline sucks. For a lot of people, this level is very, very far down. In fact, for some people, this is the second worst level in the fucking series. Keep that in mind, that Chopper Drop is the worst level in the fucking series. And this one just about beats that, but loses to every other level in the series. I just want you to keep that in mind, because this fucking level is a mess. There is so much shit and it's so claustrophobic, and the worst part, there is 62 gaps. 62 fucking gaps. Remember how many gaps there were in Skate Heaven, there was 71. This is 9 gaps away from matching Skate Heaven, and this is not that big of a level. This is a smaller level. There's no bonus area around here, unlike Skate Heaven with the volcano. It legitimately is what you see here. A bunch of rooftops with a whole bunch of shit that's claustrophobic with little crap, and doesn't have much of a good spot to work with to get combos going and such. It genuinely is a mess. And there's so many gaps here. There's too many gaps here, in fact. A lot of these gaps come off being very samey, and some of them are just straight up dog shit. You're gonna see how dog shit it gets, but yeah, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. But right now, you know, I'm gonna go around and get rid of some of the things like going up. There's also a going down. You can see the problem, right? There's gonna be a lot of that. A lot of this kind of fucking double-edged sword gapping going on. But right now, we're gonna do the jump cutting. Which we're gonna start off for jump cut in order to get this one gap here called the pipe vent grind. It's a bit weird, but there you go. And then there's this other area which has like a whole half pipe area with a bunch of chimneys and such. Might as well explore it for a little bit because we get a chimney run out of it. And we can also really jump across 2 chimneys in order to get the chimney sweep. You can't jump over free. There is no gap for jumping over free. And there's also some billboards around here. One of the billboards advertises for another of the O2 games, which is Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer. And I think Pro Surfer is one of probably the best surfing games of any surfing game out there back then. There were a lot of surfing games, and they were all kind of jank and shit. Kelly Slater was actually pretty decent, in all honesty. It was also really fucking, like, difficult to, you know, learn. Like, it's not a game you could just jump into, in all honesty. But it's definitely a game that has something neat going for itself. And also, genuinely has some neat, you know, levels to it. Even though it is mostly water, there is neat stuff to it that I do like. So, for the most part, I do enjoy a bit of Kelly Slater, and I may look into it later on in the future of this channel. But right now it's time for the Hail Mary of fucking gaps, like this sting like a bee. There's a few reference ones around here, because of course there needs to be. That skylight grind, we have this whole fucking area here of this rooftop, which has like a little glass thing there. You might be able to see inside to see, you know, all the flat furniture and such. But ultimately, there are a few things here, including this wire here, which could have gotten me a gap if I didn't jump. And, you know, didn't fall into the abyss. But afterwards, we then just jump over a chimney here in order to get the fly high gap. Then we want to go ahead and, you know, do a bit of a transfer here for chimney transfer. I'll show you how you can land that later on. Then you have to make the actual transfer here for ramp gap. Then you want to go ahead and just transfer from this roof to this roof in order to get the building transfer. Afterwards, you want to go ahead and grind these spots here. You want to get the over easy. Now you know how to do the over easy easier. Then you want to go ahead and grind this entire wire here for the balancing act. Afterwards, you want to go ahead and just do a bit of a transfer upwards to this building for reach for the sky. And you can go downward even further down, in fact, for double down. And afterwards, you want to go ahead and do a bit of a transfer, a long one, all the way for and dancing in the rain. Then you want to go ahead and make a bit of a transfer over back to this building for high anxiety, or you can just boneless over that ramp and get the same thing anyway. After that, Jesus, you want to go ahead and, you know, bit of a transfer over here to a grind for the Motown Mad Grind. Now, you're wondering how you can actually land that, considering what just happened there. Well, just jump off immediately as soon as you get it. And there you go. And next up, you want to go ahead and grind these lights here. These will get you the hanging light grind. There's another way you can actually get that. I'll show it later on. First, you can grind a spot here for building hop if you jump across. And you want to go ahead and transfer up from that spot up to here to get the cool air. And then you can go ahead and fucking, you know, jump across from this in order to get a bit of a weird glitch. Of course you do. And you want to make a bit of a grind down here in order to get this gap called Arrives Just in Time, or He Arrives Just in Time. They got rid of the he. gender equality, I guess. Let me make a bit of a, jump across here for Bernoulli principle, and then there's a transfer over here for off the deep end, grind, you won't bail. And afterwards, you want to go ahead and just do a bit of a grind all the way down to these stairs for a stair slide, as Noah said you can actually do for the stair slide just in case. Here's how you can get the other, hanging light grind. This one can be a bit easier, I guess. A bit more noticeable, at least. Then you want to jump across one of these fan vents. You want to get the fan vent hop. Then jump across this building over here in order to get the longest fucking thing. Leap trail buildings in a single whatever the fuck. And then you want to get these lips out of the way. Chimney lip, tip lip. This little trick here, the pitching coop lip. Pitching coo lip, whatever. Then you want to go ahead and get the office beak trick or brake trick. It should be brake trick. The guy got it right, but not the game. What the fuck's going on? Here's Motown HP lip and halfway HP lip. And you want to go ahead and just, maybe have a weird ass jump over here if you're lucky to get the rooftop gap. Sometimes you won't get that, just keep that in mind. Then jump from the fucking skyline here up to the roof to get the as lucky as lucky can be. Then you want to go ahead and just, grind this entire bit here in order to get the chimney grind. Then you want to go ahead and grind this spot here in order to get the wake the birds. Then grind this wire up here in order to get the high-tech grind and jump up to this rooftop bit here for step it up. The sign bit here, fuck me. And afterwards, you want to actually grind the entire sign, this entire rail here, to get the sign grind. Then you want to go ahead and just make a bit of a grind onto this rail here, go from one end to the other, maybe you want to go backwards a little bit, and you will get this next gap called Skywalker. Afterwards, you want to go ahead and just fucking, grind this entire water tower here for water tower grinds. Then you want to go ahead and, just grind from this spot here all the way up this wire in order to get the moving it up. And then afterwards, you want to go ahead and fucking, just grind this wire here all the way to this billboard for cable guy. Then afterwards, you want to go ahead and make a pretty long and difficult grind where you have to grind the 2 billboards and use the rooftop here to get across in one combo. Sometimes the game won't register this one. Just keep doing it until eventually the game gives you it, because otherwise the game's gonna be a bit of an asshole about this. And also, here's the transfer. That's how you do the chimney transfer. Anyway, after that, we want to go ahead and just grind this entire wire all the way across to the fucking sign here, and you will get bird on a wire, and you'll fall down. And then afterwards, you want to go ahead and go backwards, getting from the billboard all the way down to the sign. You can't do it the other way around, the game will register it, and you will get this gap called Bill with the sign grind. Then you want to go ahead and from that fucking bit, after you fall into the abyss, because the game forced you to, jump from the pool into a grind onto that awning in order to get the pool to awning gap. Then you want to go ahead and fucking, do the whole trail of these vents. Just grind the spots that I show you here, and you should get the gap. If it doesn't register for you, just keep at it until eventually the game gives you this one. It's awkward. It's Vent Grind Series. And also, there is this entire awkward, transfer here where you have to grind the entire pool. We have to jump over this rail here, over to the right to get another grind going. And I just barely make it for skipping the safety rail. Then you want to go ahead and war right the sign to get the funky war right, which counts as a grind on the guy. I don't know fucking why. And then you want to go ahead and get this gap again, but this time jump to the right to get this rail over here to get the land on the wire. Then you want to go ahead and fucking grind on this wire up here in order to get this gap. A lot of description for it. There's no reason to read it anyway. Then you get fucking stuck and you have to get the fuck out of there. And afterwards, you want to go ahead and just grind these spots here to get the living on the edge. Then make a massive fucking leap, and I mean a massive fucking leap, all the way across from here to here to get frequent flyer. Really hard gap. And lastly, just grind this right over here, all the way through, no jumping for open down. And that is every gap in this fucking game. This shit pissed me off so much to count through, get the scans going, make sure I didn't miss anything. I missed multiple gaps throughout this entire fucking Let's Play. And I had to come back and re-record shit, and it just pissed me the fuck off. I did not have a good time. But we are done. We are fucking done. I am done of this book. You will get the book, by the way. You're going to get in the next and final part of this Let's Play. I'll put it in the description for you. I will make sure to scan the entire thing so it's preserved forever and it won't be fucking rare anymore. But next time, we're going to do the multiplayer, we're going to do the part creator, and we're going to end this. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time for the extra video. See you then.